Welcome to Sheffield, the Steel City, the birthplace of football. And the home of some iconic bands such as the Human League, ABC, Heaven 17, Def Leppard, Pulp, the Arctic Monkeys, even Joe Cocker. I'm currently in Tudor Square, which is right at the heart of Sheffield City Centre and is home to some of Sheffield's most iconic buildings. Just behind me is the Winter Gardens. We'll be taking a look at that in a short while, and just in front of me is the Crucible Theatre. This is probably best known for being the place where the Snooker World Championships take place. This was built in 1971 and has hosted the Snooker World Championships since 1977. The most famous final was probably when Dennis Taylor beat Steve Davis on the final black.
He's done it!
Just next to the Crucible Theatre is the Lyceum, and there's actually been a theatre here since 1879. Well, that theatre burnt down in 1893, replaced by the City Theatre, but that again was demolished 6 years later to make way for what is now the Lyceum. By the late 1950s, the Lyceum was experiencing financial difficulties, and in the 1960s was kept alive by bingo callers. It closed in 1969. And despite being given a Grade 2 listed building status in 1972, there were plans to demolish it in 1975. Over the years it was used as a bingo hall and a concert arena. And by the 80s it had really fallen into disrepair. In 1988, at a cost of £12 million, it was renovated and reopened in 1990. Just next to the Lyceum Theatre is the Central Library and Graves Gallery. This is the biggest library in Sheffield and was opened in 1934 by the Queen Mother, or the Duchess of York as she was then known. There's a concert theatre in the basement, and on the third floor there's something called Graves Gallery, and it's free entry. Right now we're going to have a look in the Winter Gardens, and this is the largest urban glasshouse in the whole of Europe, and it was opened in 2003 by the Queen. Let's go and take a look inside. So in the Winter Gardens we have these shops and galleries and exhibitions. This is where you'll get your Sheffield merchandise, books on the Steel City, old pubs. If you come out of Sheffield train station and walk straight up Howard Street, that will bring you to the back entrance to the Winter Gardens, and here you can find lots of information. We've got leaflets about what's going on during October to December, and then you have all the information about walks around Sheffield here.
So that you can obviously divide it.
This is the famous Sheffield Henderson's relish, much superior to Worcester sauce, which it's often compared to. And it's vegan as well, which Worcester sauce isn't. What does this do? It's home to approximately 2,000 to 3,000 plants. I think this is the last of the elephants. In 2016 there are 72 elephants all around the city. So this entrance brings us out into what is known as the Peace Gardens. It's all very modern around here, lots of chain restaurants. We have Pizza Express to my left, a Cosmo, all-you-can-eat restaurant. Just over here is something which is quite unique to Sheffield. It's an unusual building. It's become known locally as the Cheese Grater. It's quite an unusual building, and believe it or not, it's a car park. I used to live around here in a flat just around the corner. The most interesting place is actually closed down. Oi Soy food market and restaurant. I think it might have moved somewhere else. Alright, this is going to bring us up to the Peace Gardens. Now it looks like there's Christmas market being set up. I think that starts tomorrow. Yeah, this is where the Christmas market will be. You can see all the stalls set up there selling overpriced snacks. And this is the town hall. All around the Peace Gardens on the bins we have these Sheffield phrases like "Nah then, stop nebbing," which means kindly stop crying. The Alpine Lodge, that will be open from tomorrow, I guess, selling spiced wine, toffee cider, spiced mulled gin. Get over with this then, which means stop pretending. This phrase was made famous by the Arctic Monkeys, Mardy Bum, which means a moody person. And because it's called the Peace Gardens, we have all these memorials, citizens of Sheffield who lost their lives as a result of war. We have the Spanish Civil War here. So I'm doing a 360 around the town hall, and just here to my left, this is what used to be public toilets, and now I believe, yeah, here it is, it's a bar. This will please Doctor Who fans. So we made our way to Fargate, which is one of the kind of main shopping streets in the city. As you can see, it's undergoing a lot of renovation. It's a bit messy at the minute. Over here we have what looks like a lovely old church, so let's see if we can gain access to that. This is the Cathedral Church of St Mary, and believe it or not, despite having lived in Sheffield my entire life, I don't think I've ever been in. And that's about to change. This is quite a nice street, this one. Lots of independent shops on here. When you come to Sheffield, when you're walking down the main shopping streets, always look up, because the buildings in the city centre are quite impressive, but they're very easy to miss when you're just walking past shop fronts. This is the Sheffield Cathedral. The cathedral has been on this site for almost 1,000 years. Part of this cathedral dates back to the year 1200, and the most recent addition was in 1966. I'm presuming that that might be this part here. Anyway, it's free entry. Everything's been free entry so far. The stained glass is absolutely beautiful. Wow, check this out. Now, this may not have the same reputation as York Cathedral or Lincoln, probably because it's not as big, but it is absolutely beautiful.
And the moon is trending. The moon is trending.
Check out the old flag. Just at the top of Fargate is this little centre called Orchard Square. Lots of bars and restaurants and shops in here. This is the front entrance to the town hall. You can see all the stalls being set up for the Christmas market, which opens tomorrow. Hi. Is there anywhere public access or no? So there's nothing in here to look at. Yeah.
There's only this area. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And then,
Just around this corner, there is what is one of my favourite buildings in Sheffield, and it's been empty for years. In fact, I don't think I can remember it ever being open. It used to be a Salvation Army building, and I have heard that it is being developed as part of the development of the city centre, but it does still have a sign on it saying development opportunity for sale. And inside there is a theatre that holds many hundreds of people. It'll probably end up being a Wetherspoons. What a beautiful building. And just as a contrast, right next to this we have the old Coal Brothers. Check that out. Brutal. This is an example of some of the new buildings that have gone up in Sheffield while I've been away for the past 2 years. Just over here, above Brown's, second floor up, that's where I used to live, right in the heart of the city centre. Opposite that beautiful building there. Here we have New Sheffield, about to be developed Sheffield, New Sheffield and Old Sheffield. Debenhams closed about a year ago. It is about to reopen, apparently as a second-hand shop. Now this is the Moor, another one of Sheffield's main shopping areas. You can see the Christmas market's about to open down here as well. And the Ferris wheel in the centre, just outside the Light Cinema. Just here is the Moor Market that was built to replace the old Castle Market, which was in a completely different area. And this has probably been open almost 10 years now. Well, this is now Sheffield Council building, but it used to be Manpower Services. It was built in 1981, and this cut off the access for pedestrians who would walk down the moor and head straight over to London Road. There is a gap in between, and that was originally meant to be open to the public but never was. You can see the step pyramid style. It was going to be demolished at one point until the council took it over. Well, that's fairly brutal, but this thing on the other side of the road, and I've never really paid any attention to this until fairly recently. They held an exhibition here on brutal Sheffield, and I couldn't get tickets for it, which I was really gutted about. And I don't know why I've never really noticed this before. This is a National Grid Sheffield City substation. Check this out. The exhibition that was held here the entrance was through here and you had to climb up these steps. I think the exhibition was on one of the higher floors. All these buildings used to be various businesses, and a lot of them have been converted into student flats. There's a few groups of students around there who've just come to have a look. They don't seem that impressed, to be honest, because I guess, well, you wake up, I would love waking up to that, but yeah, they're probably not aware of just how close they are to the city centre. Just over here, literally the next street, we have the Washington, one of Sheffield's iconic pubs. Live music, beer garden, Cascales, late licence. I think it opens well about 3. Yeah, 3 o'clock every day apart from Sunday, and it's open well too. We're just coming up to Devonshire Green now. This is kind of a student-y type part of Sheffield. Over here we have just your normal residential, but then over here we have kind of student apartments. This is Devonshire Green, which is a popular spot with students during the summer. Come out here, have a drink, have a picnic. Often has live music on here as well. During the tramlines weekend there's a stage on here. And this leads us up to Division Street. Now at the back of Division Street over there is West Street, which is one of the main roads through the city centre. I'm not going to go and look at that because it's just a big long street full of pretty shit bars, to be honest. So we'll take a walk down Division Street instead. This is Division Street. We have the Forum on our right hand side, which is a bar and kitchen. And yeah, this used to be kind of considered to be like Sheffield's version of Carnaby Street. And it's kind of lost a little bit of that. Now we have your Taco Bells and Subway and things like that, but there are still quite a few independent. We have here in the Forum, support Sheffield independent shops. There's 10 shops inside here. Let's go and take a look. Upstairs is the common room bar. There used to be a lot more shops in here than what there are now. When it first opened there were 2 floors of shops, but now we have a bar. See, we have a phone shop there, vintage clothing, more vintage clothing. Oh no, it's a barber's. Bear Tree record shop, photography. Have a brew dog over there. Something called Epic Booze. That's an off licence. Yeah, a lot of vintage shops on this street. The infamous Devonshire Chippy. I've just had a look at the menu in Devonshire Green Chippy, and for chip butter it's £4. That's unbelievable, £4 for chip butter. Over here we have another iconic Sheffield pub, Frog and Parrot. This used to sell a drink called Roger and Out, which was then the strongest beer in the world. More vintage shops. Another decent bar, Bungalows and Bears. Used to be the old fire station many years ago.
And then I looked at
It's all been done up now. When it first opened you could still tell that it was part of the old fire station. The old Sheffield Waterworks Company, 1867. I do believe that that is now a Wetherspoons. Here we have a memorial to the women of steel who supported the war effort in both World War I and World War II. This is the Sheffield City Hall. It was opened in 1932 and this has hosted all the greats, right from Louis Armstrong and the Beatles to Kylie, Eric Clapton. Just about anyone has played here. It's a nice little stadium, holds about 2,300 people. This is the entrance to the City Hall. Check out that roof. Looks like a lot of tribute acts. Atomic, 80s Party Band, Waterloo, being ABBA tribute, Bootleg Beatles, Billy Joel Songbook. This is quite the building. I do believe that this is where you used to come if your parents were unemployed, and you used to come and get PE kits and trousers and things like that. And now Leopold Square is home to lots of restaurants. We have Wagamama Cubana. This used to be an Indian restaurant, but that's closed down now. What else have we got? Vietnamese street food over here. They often have music in this little square. Some little stories here. Sheffield history. See, just coming out of Leopold Square, we have a door there with a sign for infants, so it probably used to be a school. And this brings us to the bottom of West Street. And we've timed that well. You get to see the wonderful Sheffield Super Tram. It's another interesting building, another one that's closed down. Right at the top we have lots of gargoyles. We have a wonderful clock there. Now this is Chapel Walk, which takes you from Fargate over to Tudor Square. And this used to be a nice little street with independent shops on it and stuff, but yeah, it's just dead now. Well, we do have at least one independent shop on Chapel Walk, a place called the Bird Yard, so let's take a look. And that's it for my journey around the city centre of Sheffield. I hope you've enjoyed this little vlog. I may do some more vlogs in Sheffield, not decided yet. Or I may just bugger off back to Vietnam. Anyway, see you later.